Good morning and welcome to Community Chit Chat for this Saturday, July 25th, 2020. My name is Jim Vossen, VS and Victor OSSEN. We're supposed to have a live guest here today, Steve Prodes from Foolish Times. We talked yesterday. I'll be there, Jim, at 8:45. I'll be there at 8:45. Well, he's not here yet. So I could have at the last minute thrown some replay in, but I thought, what the heck? We'll just go ahead and survive this the best we can. We'll see if he pops in here at all. And if he does, I've got things all set up. Where's his camera is actually camera number 3. And if I do that, that's where he would be sitting, and I'd be over to the side in the little box there. I just called him, went to voicemail. You know how that works out, huh? Yeah. And I got here this morning. I was here at 7:30, getting things all straightened and everything. Yeah. What does one do? I'm trying to do this. Now, by the way, if you're out there and you're tuned in and you'd like to be a guest sometime, do me a favor. Go to our website if you can, KMBYTV.com. And send me a message through there. There's a thing called contact form and so on. Or you can call me, except for now. Don't call now because I'm in the middle of this show. But you can call my cell phone, area code 831-236-5994. All right, so I'm keeping an eye out for the guy. They say the show must go on. Now, the problem is I have certain things set up here. I don't have like music to go to right at this moment. I guess I could do that. So that's what happens sometimes. You do this and you do that, and it doesn't put him on the top of my list, by the way. You know what I mean? There's a list you keep of good things and bad things. Because I've been a week and a half, I think, since we've had a live interview. So, yeah. Anyway, how you doing out there? It's Saturday morning. I got my mask. In case if he comes in, we're at a good distance. I need to measure that, but I'm thinking I'm about roughly 10 feet away from him where he would sit. I'm blocked with all these screens and everything. But here's my mask. Hello. Oh, let me throw this out at you. Has anybody been watching any of the baseball games? Well, first of all, the first thing that bothers me about the baseball games is that, we've had enough with, well, I never say enough, I guess. We've had enough with the virus stuff that we're in. With not having things, not being able to go to restaurants, not to be able to do a lot of things that we used to do because of this virus. And then we throw in all the protests and so on going on and going on and going on. And we don't, we're kind of in that limbo thing. Now, you would think that bringing in some baseball would be good. Take us away from all that serious stuff and relax and watch good old-fashioned American baseball. Yeah, but no. They had, at least I saw the game with the Giants, the beginning of it, and they had to do the kneel thing with the Star-Spangled Banner. They had to do that. They had to have also some signs around promoting Black Lives Matter. Somebody needs to wake up about that, by the way. Some people need to wake up about the Black Lives Matter. You need to go to their site. Just Google Black Lives Matter. Go to their website. And you need to see where monies that if you donate to that group, if you think, wow, this is really good, let me donate some money to them, and I'm sure it's all going to a good cause. Well, a separate organization handles the donations. And what they do with the money, by the way, here the thing is, this group, and you need to go there to see this. Go to their website, Black Lives Matter, and then find the name of this group, and I forget, it's something blue, something, and they are actually an activist arm of the Democrat Party. So what happens is this: when you're not just promoting Black Lives Matter, you're promoting the Democrat Party. That's what you're doing. So if you're a Republican, you kind of get lost in that. Well, wait a minute. I understand Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. I understand that, and I support it. But now you threw in a wrench. You threw in something that I don't know if should really be like that. So anyway, so I myself, somebody had said at the game thing is that, did they have to do that here? Did they have to do that here? Can't they just stand there? But no, they think that the baseball game is a good place to make my political statement. And by the way, and a lot of these people are kind of rubbed into it, or kind of almost forced into it, not by a gun or anything. But, the thing is, well, if I don't do that, if I don't kneel, they're going to think I'm racist. That's a problem, isn't it? That's a problem. Yeah. Let's see. If I don't do that, I'm a racist. Shame, shame, shame. Shame, shame. I just don't think it belongs there. I don't think it belongs on the football thing either. And especially these days. Because right now, people need some kind of release somewhere. They need to say, oh, good, baseball. Oh, good, I can get out of that. All these protests and the virus, take a little vacation in my mind for a bit. Go watch a baseball game. But no, here's these guys kneeling. And there's signs embedded in the on the field. Black Lives Matter. Sometimes, it's a good catchphrase. Black Lives Matter. Very simple. Rolls off the tongue really well and means a lot. But not when you tie it to something else that people could have a question about. And I have questions about it. I'm sure other people do. Yeah, anyway. So that's one of the things. And in all honesty, last night we had the A's and the Angels on baseball. And I don't need to watch that anymore. I don't need it, because if they're going to do the kneeling, I don't need that. I don't need it. Thank you. Get me something else. Get me cartoons. Nothing wrong with some good cartoons. Our local network, MeTV, has the Flintstones on it. And it's really silly. It really is. But I got to tell you, if you're watching the news and you get sick and tired of all the stuff going on, I would turn over to our network, MeTV here, and I would tune into the Flintstones. As silly as it is, at least it's I don't know what people want. They want the baseball games. They want it entertaining. What is that they want? I just don't see the thing about kneeling. I can see it outside of that event. But lo and behold, at the baseball game, where people are tuned in to watch baseball, I don't think they need to be tuned in to watch political voices. And that's what it is. That's what it is. I was talking last night on my Friday night show about a couple of black ladies, who in New York, on that whatever that main street is, that's in kind of runs down in front of the Trump Towers Hotel, and somebody came out there. I guess it was kind of approved by the city or sanctioned. I don't know. They had big yellow paint, and they wrote these big block letters, Black Lives Matter, down. I don't know. Could have taken a couple of blocks to do it. Maybe it's on one block, but somewhere there. Big. You've seen it. You've seen it if you're paying attention at all. And so what? So these two black ladies who apparently have no love whatsoever for the Black Lives Matter organization. Not the phrase, the organization. Things like, and so what they did, these two ladies, they came down and they each had a big gallon jug of black paint, and they just walked down on that yellow Black Lives Matter and just poured it out there, down some ways. And then they got down on their knees, and in their bare hands, I don't think they had gloves. Maybe they did. I don't know. They took it and smeared it all around all the verbiage there. And they chanted out something. Now, as part of the thing, a lot of these protesters, and by the way, a lot of times you don't know who are the protesters. You don't know sometimes, because there's a couple of different groups that want to do that kind of stuff. And they were basically, you've heard the term where they're trying to defund the police department. They have a chant that says refund. That means that if you've been taking the funds away, put them back. Refund the police department. And they chant on about how the Black Lives Matter movement, the organization, it lies to everybody, is lying and lying and lying. It's interesting. It's interesting. And so if you have a chance, Google, what was it? Black paint on the street in New York. How's that? See what you find out. I found, now what's interesting is that while these ladies were doing that, there were some policemen around there. Probably, I don't know. I saw eight or nine or maybe 10 police officers that I could see. And there were a couple of them that were trying to help the ladies up to stop doing what they were doing. But they weren't too forceful in their maneuvers. They were not very forceful at all. I mean, so I never saw the end result of that. I don't know why I never see the end result. But it's we gotta if we don't nip this in the bud soon, it's just going to escalate. Things are going to escalate. Now, I've said from the beginning that killing of that man in Minneapolis by that police officer, the murder, the terrible thing, and the officer standing by and watching them, that was bad. I mean, really, really bad. And how stupid, how stupid was that guy who was kneeling on the neck of that gentleman? How stupid was that guy? He had to know there were cameras there. He had to know that he was doing something a little more necessary than anything. He must have known that. But my guess is that the guy is so stupid, was so stupid, and that's it. It's just so stupid. But we can't just take that incident, and yes, there were a couple officers there who were probably wondering, oh, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And they should have done something. Future officers need to step in. I understand the rank of command and all that, but gee, there's a time and a place. And this was a time and a place for them to have stepped in and stopped this from happening. They contributed to that. They did. But here's the thing. So after that happens, we have the protest demonstrators, and in the front of the line, were what I believe were sincere protesters that were out of respect to the gentleman getting killed. In fact, you know what happens? I should have things written down. I keep on forgetting the guy's name. I believe it was George something. And I could be wrong. Out of respect, the group in the front, they were fine. They were doing fine. They were demonstrating. Their protesting was fine. But then you got at least two other kind of groups behind them. You got somewhere in there, near the back of the line, is this Antifa group. That's another thing, the Antifa group. Look them up. Read about them. And stop and think about what they do. Is that something that is necessary now? I don't think so. But anyway. So I don't know. I'm hearing kind of rumblings around here. I don't know if somebody is here or not. I told you Steve Prodes from Foolish Times was supposed to be my guest this morning. He said, I'll be there at 8:45. Now, So I don't. Steve, are you out there? No. Just some of their noise from outside. I left the door cranked open a little bit. So, anyway, I'm going to take a little break. This is Community Chit Chat. It's a place that on Saturdays and Wednesday mornings is an opportunity to interview community leaders and business leaders and so on. 2 weekends ago, I had a great interview with Mel Mason. Now, he is a big guy in the civil rights activist field. He's been around for a long time, an original member of the Black Panther Party, involved with the NAACP here in Seaside, lives in Seaside, was a star athlete at Monterey High in youth days. I think he's 77 now. So back when he was in high school. Nice guy. We've always had good discussions. And he understands the practical things. He understands that these other protesters, the Antifa people, when you get in the back there and you start throwing bricks and rocks, or you hand these other guys and the other thugs. Oh, so there's the Antifa group. They're in the back. The right protesters, they're in the front, and then you have this group of thugs. These are people that saying, you know what? Yeah, God, I want to thank that officer for killing that black man, because now it gives me an opportunity. I don't know why I'm talking like that. Gives me an opportunity to break some windows and go in and get my big flat screen TV. Yeah, I'll go get one of those. Okay, stop. I don't know where that comes from. So, anyway, and then the problem, and we can understand that one day, but we can't. I don't understand setting buildings on fire. Don't understand that at all. And we let them get away with it. That's the big problem. once you open a can of worms, chances are they're going to get out. So they needed to shut it down then. Shut it down as soon as possible. Maybe that night was letting off some steam. I don't think going in and taking a TV or a fancy mink coat, I don't know if that's letting off steam. My thoughts. Okay. All right, what do we got here? Let's do, by myself, I don't have anybody to hold my hand with this. So we're going to go over to something like this, and I will engage this like so, and do something like this. KMBY Monterey. Hi, Jim Vossen here for the Sand City Chamber of Commerce. Sand City is well known for its large art community. Check out sandcityartworld.com. Sand City is also known for its industrial businesses like Disaster Cleanup, Floor Store USA, Cypress Cabinets, A&R Plumbing, and many more. Yes, Sand City has 2 shopping centers with Costco, Office Depot, Target, Home Goods, not to mention the 2 new burger places, Five Guys and Habit Burger Grill. Plus my favorite place, McDonald's. Love that quarter pounder. Check out sandcityshopping.com. Sand City has a giant development in the works, including lots of apartments and a hotel or 2. For more great information about Sand City, check out sandcitycalifornia.com. That's sandcitycalifornia.com. All of this and more brought to you by the Sand City Chamber of Commerce. Not a member? Join today. Call 394-6501. Hi, Jim Vossen here for the Seaside Chamber of Commerce. If you're looking for a great place to eat in Seaside, like the Googie Grill on Del Monte near Canyon Del Rey, or the Wakatobi Japanese Grill at 1130 Fremont Boulevard, check out SeasideEatAndStay.com. If you're looking for a great place to stay in Seaside, like the Econo Lodge Bay Breeze Inn at 2049 Fremont Boulevard, or the Big Embassy Suites at the corner of Canyon Del Rey and Del Monte, check out SeasideEatAndStay.com. If you're looking for a new or used car, check out SeasideAutoDealers.com, where you'll find BMW of Monterey, Victory Toyota, Lexus Monterey Peninsula, and more. Check out SeasideAutoDealers.com. For more great information about Seaside, check out SeasideCalifornia.us. That's SeasideCalifornia.us. All of this and more brought to you by the Seaside Chamber of Commerce. Not a member? Join today. Call 394-6501. All right, we're back. Let me figure out exactly what I'm doing. I'll get it all straightened out. Hang on. Okay. I have to wait till this comes down and then do this. I think I got it. I got it. All right. So here's the deal. You're tuned in right now to the Community Chit Chat Show, and I was supposed to have a special guest. In fact, I was supposed to have this guy here, Steve Prodes, Foolish Times publisher. We talked about it yesterday, and I have no text or no phone call from him at all. So maybe it's a miscommunication. Maybe he thinks it's next Saturday, but no, it was for today. So I decided to take, because what happens is when I come in here, if I prep up stuff for a live show, I have to, I have a little bit of a problem because it's all ready to go for a live show. If I was going to do an encore presentation, and by the way, and I like to live by the clock. When I say 9 o'clock, I mean 9 o'clock. Sometimes I'm off 5 seconds, but we're kind of pretty much like that. So I was waiting to the last minute, and then I just decided, well, I'll just take the bull by the horns. So now my wife has called me, and I was kind of rude to her, so I'm going to call her right now, and let's just see if first of all, is she going to yell at me? She could yell at me. But
hello.
Oh, hi. I thought I'd call you. We're live on the air, dear. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
You think I was being rude to you earlier because I was down to like 10 seconds?
No, of course not. Of course, I messed up too. I thought it was from 10 to 11, so that's why I called you at 9.
Dear?
Sorry.
Dear?
Are you there?
Hey, yes. How long have I been doing this community chit-chat
long.
show? Too long. I see. You would think you would know that, number one, it's only an hour.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was
No, it's okay.
11
it's
rather
okay.
than 9.
That's all right. You know,
We have to keep you on your toes.
yeah, just a second. Let me just tell the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to appreciate females.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, maybe they do things that are on a strange level at certain things.
Not strange, just
Oh.
different maybe.
What was that the other day? Remember, I brought up something, and you said that was a female characteristic. Do you remember what that was? I can't remember.
Oh, gosh, what was that?
I don't know. Yeah. But you called me this morning at about 2 minutes before 9 o'clock.
I know, I messed up.
Yeah. Talk about
Yeah.
strangeness.
You're going to play some extra music then?
I don't know. I'm talking.
I heard you. Okay.
Oh, I can take up the hour.
I know. Talk about fun things.
A fun thing? Oh, I may. You might do that. Some of these people. I'll talk about my growing up in San Francisco.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that's okay. All right. Well, thank you, dear, for answering the phone at least.
Okay.
All right. Talk to you in a while. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Okay. My lovely wife, Mary Lou. Yeah. All right. So, anyway. So, I kind of in this deal where usually like a Friday nights and Monday mornings, I play music. So, it allows me to, do things in between there. So, I'm not always stuck here. Much less always talking. But, sometimes when you're talking a lot, hold on a second. I got my Diet Dr. Pepper. But unfortunately, the ice is all melted down. I need ice sometimes there. Anyway. So if nobody knows me at all, my name is Jim Vossen, V as in Victor, O-S-S-E-N. I'm born and raised in San Francisco. I turned 70 on December 29th last year. And I grew up out in the avenues of San Francisco. And I thought, well, I'll take you on a little tour of the avenues of San Francisco, the best that I can deal with. Now, technically speaking, there's kind of two sets of avenues when you say out in the avenues. Most people think we're talking about south of Golden Gate Park, between Golden Gate Park and the zoo, which is on the south west corner of San Francisco, the San Francisco Zoo. And there are avenues on the other side of the park, which we refer usually to the Richmond District. And I don't quite understand that, but it's okay. Our avenues, a lot of people can call them the Sunset District, and there is a boulevard called Sunset Boulevard. I don't know of anything called Richmond Boulevard or anything over on the other side of the park, we call it. That, in fact, as a kid, that was kind of like a foreign land, just the other side of the park. Watch out for those people. Most of the houses on the Sunset District, they were built later. That was a later development in San Francisco, and most of the houses look a lot alike in a way. There are some oddball ones, of course, but they're kind of a same setup in most cases. Where if you go in the Richmond District, there's all sorts of things. There are a lot of flats and other things. Now, yes, in the Sunset District, if you go to like Terraville or Judah, you will find odd places with like flats where they have a business down below and apartments up above and so on. few of those. But I grew up in a time, and I feel so lucky that I grew up in a time in San Francisco where, first of all, it definitely wasn't like what San Francisco is like today. Yes. Ours was a great place. You could almost leave your doors unlocked all the time, not worry about it. Didn't have problems. We have, in fact, you know what I could do? I could do that if I was to think about it. And I'm wondering why. I know why I'm down there, because we're recording this. That's good. But one of these times I'll have to bring up the internet and show you the house that I lived in. Basically, I lived there up till I was 20, till I got married. So born and raised, 2307 29th Avenue. If you ever want to Google that, you can, 2307 29th Avenue. Now, I was, our house was the second house from the corner at Santiago. Down at the end of the street was Terraville, which is where the streetcar ran. And if you got on the streetcar and you headed down the hill the west from me, you could end up at the zoo. Yes, a block away from the zoo. But if you got on the streetcar and headed the other way, east, you could take that through what was called the Twin Peaks Tunnel. Take that all the way down to downtown San Francisco, onto Market Street, down to close to the ferry building. Actually comes into there's a bus terminal. I think it's multi-buses terminal. It's something different now, I'm sure. But anyway, and there was no problem, in those days, to get on the streetcar cost me 15 cents. Or if I bought a streetcar ticket, which was for students mainly, you had 10 places they could punch. 10. The conductor on the streetcar or bus would punch one of the unused spots, and you get 10 rides, and that cost 50 cents. That was a nickel, technically, a ride. Not too bad. Yeah. So there was no problem. If I wanted to, now usually I had my buddy Paul Taylor, and we usually, went together if we were going to the zoo or something like that. But I'd go by myself. I'd go down. I'd take a streetcar. I'd go down to the zoo. I'd go downtown. I probably did that starting at the age of 12, 13 or so on. Never had a second thought about that. I tell my parents, I'm getting on the streetcar. I'm going to go down to the Emporium down on Market Street. Why are you doing that? Well, I want to look at toys. Okay, bye. Yeah. If I had kids, I lived in San Francisco, I would never allow that at all nowadays. No. It's tough out there. Yeah. Anyway, so one of the things, San Francisco, at the time, growing up, the zoo was free. And when you got into the zoo, there was kind of this first section. Now, the zoo, by the way, also was an item that was attached to the zoo was Fly Shacker Pool. This pool was one of the biggest pools, close to one of the biggest pools in the world, I believe. It holds some kind of record. Oh, and also, now, one of the unfortunate things about the pool is, I guess they thought it was convenient because they were right next to the ocean, and that's where they got the water from. Yeah. Yes, the water was salt water. Yes, it was. The pool was a big pool. In fact, they had a lifeguard who was in a rowboat. He'd be in a rowboat around there. Now, down at the deep end, they had a standard 9-foot diving board. And then they had these 2 platforms. And now the 9-foot board was a little bit over to the side. Now, this platform, the first level platform, was probably twice as high as the 9-foot board. Then they had another platform above it, extended out a bit, so you don't hit somebody down below. And that was probably, at least another 10 feet, somewhere in that neighborhood, 10, 12 feet high. So 2 big, giant platforms for diving. I never dove off of those. I've dived or dove off of the 9-foot board, but the other platforms, while I've been up on both of them, I've jumped off them. Yes, I jumped. Yeah, chicken. I know. Sure. Anyway, so Fly Shacker Pool is kind of close to the ocean, you might say. It was big. It was big, let me tell you. If you could swim from one end to the other end, you're pretty good, you know. So now we get back to the zoo. When you first walk into the zoo on Sloat, that's the street it was on, you came in. Again, no gates, because you know why? It was open. It was free. I guess there were some kind of gates because they could lock it up at night, you know. So when you first walk in, there was these kind of like, a little small, shallow, weird deal, a water thing, like a little wading pool. If you wanted to cool off your feet, you could stand in it. You could sit on the edge and have your kind of feet in there. But little kids could actually walk around in there. Little kids got a kick. You know, we're tiny tots. They love that. And that was kind of like right in the middle as you came in. Now, way over to the left, there was actually some grass area, a couple of like picnic tables, and then they had a kind of a playground. They had all the stuff, swings, slides, big twirly slides. But they had these 2 gigantic structures. One was an old locomotive, train, and one was a cable car. As we know, cable cars are famous in San Francisco. So what the kids did, a lot of times, they would climb up to the roof of the cable car and jump to the sand ground below. Okay, it wasn't cement; it was sand, and I did that. You know, sometimes sometimes if you don't come down right, it can be not fun. But anyway, so that's my life growing up. The train was interesting. There really wasn't a high place to jump off of, but it was fine to walk up, sit in, like you're driving the train type of thing. You know, sit there and go, woo, woo. Yeah. So anyway, that's some of my growing up in San Francisco, taking the streetcar down to the zoo. Well, as you went down Terraville, if you got to 46th Avenue, you could get off the streetcar there, and you could transfer. They used to give you these transfers on the buses and streetcars there. And you could transfer to the bus that would take you out to Playland at the beach. Playland at the beach. My other home away from home. Now, that costs some money if you wanted to go on a ride or you wanted to do something. And that's a whole other chapter. I'll tell you what we'll do. This is Community Chit Chat on KMBY over the air at 19.4 and on the internet at KMBYTV.com. I'm Jim Vossen, and we will take a little short break, 2-minute break, and wondering why I don't have, let's just double check that, why I don't have any kind of message from Steve Prode saying, "Oh, Jim, I'm sorry." Yeah. Let's see. Any phone calls? No phone calls. All right. I have a feeling he went out and partied a little bit too much last night. That's what my thing is. That's what I think. All right, so what am I going to do? We're going to do this. We call this fade to black. We're going to continue on with this like so and take a 2-minute break.
KMBY Monterey.
Hi, Jim Vossen here for the Monterey Chamber of Commerce. If you are looking for a great place to dine in Monterey, like the old Fisherman's Grotto on Fisherman's Wharf, check out MontereyEatPlayAndStay.com. If you are looking for a great place to play in Monterey, like Cannery Row, check out MontereyEatPlayAndStay.com. If you are looking for a great place to stay in Monterey, like the Portola Plaza or the Monterey Tides on the beach next door to Seaside, check out MontereyEatPlayAndStay.com. If you are looking for cars, car parts, body shops, car clubs, etc., check out MontereyCarChannel.com. It's quite interesting and fun. For more great information about Monterey, check out MontereyCalifornia.us. That's MontereyCalifornia.us. All of this and more brought to you by the Monterey Chamber of Commerce. Not a member? Join today. Call 394-6501. Hi, Jim Vossen here for the Delray Oaks Chamber of Commerce. If you have never been to Delray Oaks before, it is well worth coming by. About 20 years ago, a young gentleman took on the task of counting all the trees in Delray Oaks. He's still counting them today. There's a great and famous restaurant in Delray Oaks called Tarpey's. And of course, they have a Starbucks and a Jack in the Box and a large Safeway. There is also a special place where people come from miles around to look at a large frog population. If you need your spirits lifted, there is the beautiful Church of the Oaks. Check out their website, churchoftheoaks.com. And if you're in the neighborhood, stop by and say hi to my good friend, Reverend Dr. Robert Helen. To find out more about Delray Oaks, check out DelrayOaksCalifornia.com. That's DelrayOaksCalifornia.com. Brought to you by the Delray Oaks Chamber of Commerce. To join the chamber, call 394-6501. All right, ready? And where am I at? I'm at here. Okay, so during that break, I get a call. No, I get a knock at the door. I have a funny feeling somebody is, I hate to do this. Good morning, you're live on Community Chit Chat. Who's this?
Good morning, Jim. It's Annie.
Oh, Annie, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I kind of watched you last night, but my TV was kind of faded in and out.
Oh.
I did watch you.
My goodness.
But I want to tell you, this morning is my number one favorite show of all your shows.
Oh, well, I don't know about that, but I just telling the audience, I got a knock at the door. It's Steve. He thought it was 9:45 that he needed to be here, that the show's on at 10 o'clock. And I said, no, and you've been on it before. It's at 9 o'clock. Anyway.
Well, anyway, it's great this morning because I can relate to everything you're saying, being I lived in the cities, and I had once told you before I lived on 46th Avenue, so really, really interesting, and you're taking me back many years ago.
So I'm not upsetting you with my political rants?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Good. All right, Annie, well, thank you very much. I'm going to finish this program up.
Wonderful weekend.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, that's Annie. She's over in Delray Oaks. And I'm Jim Vossen. Let's bring back up my little sign that says Community Chit Chat. Looks well, and you got to hit the right. There we go. Okay. I hate using my left hand for the mouse. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, let's talk briefly a little bit about going the other way. I get that you take the streetcar down to 46th Avenue, and you transfer to a bus that takes you out to Playland at the beach. Now, a lot of people might not know this, but I'm sure you've seen them. You probably have had one or two. But if you go to the freezer section of your local supermarket, you will find, in fact, actually, sometimes those little freezers that they have at the convenience stores that are attached to gas stations, or gas stations that are attached to, anyway, you know what I mean. Anyway, there's an ice cream that is 2 big oatmeal cookies, ice cream in the middle, and surrounded by chocolate, dipped in chocolate, called an It's It. There are other imitators of them called something else or something like that, but nothing can compete with a true It's It. And It's Its were born in San Francisco at the pie shop at Playland at the beach. Yes. The pie shop made them there by hand, and they still make them not there. They have I think their place is in their factory is in Burlingame, I believe, near the airport, San Francisco airport. And anyway, so that and the pie shop. It was called the pie shop. Guess what? They had pies there too, all sorts of pies. But my favorite thing, and at the time when I was a kid, probably got a little more expensive as I got older, but they had these things called meat turnovers. It's like they took a round dough, rolled out into like a round circle. Was that like that? No, I guess it was square, kind of a square. And then they'd stuff it with some meat and filling like rice or some potatoes, a gravy, peas and such, and they'd fold it over so that it looked like a V in a way, well, like a turnover. You've had, and that's what they were. They had chicken, turkey, and beef meat turnovers. And at a time as a youngster, I remember them being like 50 cents with gravy. Yeah. Now, the other interesting thing about Playland at the Beach, they had their arcade area, kind of like Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, and where they had different games and so on, where you could win point tickets. Skee ball, get so many point tickets for winning. They'd pop out on a little thing on the next to the machine. They had some other interesting things. Dart games where you pop a balloon and you get point tickets for that, or sometimes they had little prizes. I don't know. But anyway, so I used to gather these point tickets, and the interesting part about it, the point tickets had a value of a penny per point. So if you had 5 10-point tickets, that's the equivalent of 50 cents. You could take that and go to the pie shop and exchange that for a chicken, turkey, or beef turnover with gravy. I like saying that. Anyway, so that's were my days. Oh, they had a couple. They had other thing. They had corn dog places. They had a place called the Bullpup, which was kind of hot dogs. Oh, they had the Hot House. The Hot House was a Mexican place. Get tamales, enchiladas, all that stuff. So they had quite a few different restaurants that had quite a reputation for them out there. It was a place to go. Oh, and the other thing was, it was also right across the street from Playland at the Beach. By the way, and when we say Playland at the Beach, they're at the beach. You walk across the highway there, Great Highway, and there's the ocean right there. Boom, So, but anyway, across from that, kind of on the way up the hill to the Cliff House. You've heard of the Cliff House? That was on the left-hand side if you were going up. But on the right-hand side, before you started going up the hill, right across the street, was Skateland at the beach. Skateland at the beach. And I was a regular skater there for probably about 6 to 7 years. Probably 6 to 7 years, maybe a little longer. There'd be a summer or two where I was there almost every other day during the weekdays. Oh, yeah. I got into being able to do, I got up as far as doing what's called a double jump. That's you jump up and you do 2 full revolutions, and hopefully you land still on your skates. Yeah. So that was my time in San Francisco. Somewhat. So I can't imagine it's not there anymore. In fact, that was something terrible too about it. I guess business was going down. Oh, what else did they have there? Hold it. I'm forgetting. The Fun House. Now, if you've been to the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk near, I think, the merry-go-round there's a Laughing Sal, and I believe that was one of the original Laughing Sals that was at the Playland at the beach in San Francisco. Now, my understanding and what I've read in history about this is that there were three Laughing Sals. One that was up, and there were 2 spares. 2 spares. That's the best I know. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's. And it was a scary thing, and maybe because it was kind of up high. There was it was probably she stood probably about 10 feet higher off the ground, and she's kind of looking down at you, and she's got this big smile with a big tooth missing, kind of red raggedy hair type of thing, and she's going ha 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 ha. I couldn't do it right. You have to go to see Laughing Sal to get it right. A little scary. Inside the Fun House was kind of neat. Getting into the place, first of all, you buy a ticket, you go in, and there's this mirror maze, a maze of mirrors that you had to somehow navigate yourself, try not to bump into yourself and to get out. And then once you got out of that, you thought, oh, gosh. Then they had these big, giant turnstile things. They were covered, they're kind of upholsterized. They were probably about, seems like about 4 feet in diameter, 3 to 4 feet in diameter. They were all together, and they were kind of spinning a little bit. And you would walk through them kind of tightly, going through there. They bend a little bit here and there. But then you had this guy, this operator, who was sitting up on this thing, and he had controls of these different air shooting things. There were holes in the floor through the turnstile. And if you were a young lady wearing a flowery skirt, boom! Boom! And it was also scary, too. Very, very scary. All right, we're getting down to the wire here, down to the time that I'm going to close this program up. I'll replay this on Wednesday if I don't have a fresh guest. Hopefully, by next Saturday I'll have a guest. So I was the guest today. I haven't done this in a long time like this. So, what the heck. Anyway, what was I going to say? I said, well, thank you for being with me today on Community Chit Chat. We're here on Wednesdays and Saturday mornings from 9 to 10. Wednesday mornings from 9 to 10. That's it. I'm Jim Vossen, V as in Victor, O-S-S-E-N. Check out our website, KMBYTV.com. What else? That's about it. I think that's all I can say other than... growing up in San Francisco was, you couldn't beat it. You really couldn't. It was just, and you didn't appreciate it then as much as I appreciate it now. Yeah, as much as I appreciate it now, I wasn't big deal, But no, it was a perfect setting, perfect time. Just now I look back and I'm lucky as all heck. I feel sorry that my kids weren't able to ever enjoy that. They grew up in Daly City. Big deal. So, like I said, never had a boring time. Always something to do in San Francisco at the time. So maybe next time, some other time, I'll talk about going east and heading to downtown San Francisco and causing havoc there. All right, this has been the Community Chit Chat Show on KMBY.